ladies and gentlemen, as we were doing a little disco and talking about Rahu today. Rahu, what happens when it's in your 5th house and the other axis Ketu is in the 11th house, and what is this dynamic play of Rahu and Ketu? And man, I already told Dr. Pai like 2 months ago, I'm like, look, the minute I make your Pai map, Pai Paddhati, which I'm proud of, naming these two things, Pi map and Pi Paddhati. I'm like, man, this is going to go wow. This is going to go crazy. And that's what it did. With the Pi Paddhati video, it has just, wow, it just blew over. Not in terms of like the popularity. I'm talking about like people who are responding to it. It was just like, this is almost, I have to say, it's 100% true, 100. And obviously, a lot of you have requested, can you please open up Pi or Pi map reading so we can look at our chart? And I said, I'm not going to do it because it has a lot of negativity in it. Okay? A lot of negativity comes out, but I might open it. Look for it on my website at this link here as option 14, which might be called Pi map reading. And if I'm still thinking about it, if I want to do it or not. If I do it, I won't cover anything negative. I won't even cover anything about what is going to happen. I'm going to show you from your own chart. You'll have to read the option, but I might bring it. So just look for it on my website if in case because it's in my mind. Should I do it or not do it? Not do it. Should I do it or not do it? Because it's not that, this is not something that you can just do a reading on for people. It's, it has its rules. So I'm just still thinking. But anyway, guys, let's discuss Rahu Ketu axis. As always, if you do not know where your Rahu is placed, where your Ketu is placed, and what sign they're in, nakshatra they're in, and also I have Rahu Ketu reading. For that, check out the links here. Check out my full astrological report, including my books, Astrology, Conjunction, Aspects, and Mahadashas at the Speed of Light, including all my consultations reading at this link. So, Rahu and Ketu. So first of all, what is the 5th house? Okay. 5th house represents children, education, arts, media, creativity, cinema, script writing, speculative gains, sports, betting. It's a house of mantras. It's a house of ancient knowledge. It's a house of your ancestors, house of your grandfather. It's a gain of your mother. It is change of jobs. Okay, it is pretty much also the house of your spouse's gains as well. A lot of things. I mean, it represents a lot of things. I mean, it represents the skills of your, younger sibling. A lot of things it can represent. But we're going to stick to the basics one. That's where you can see the dynamic of it. And then what is the 11th house? Right? We have Rahu in the 5th house sitting. What is the 11th house? 11th house represents large organizations. Hopes, wishes, desires, achievements, recognition, awards, social welfare, social reform. Like 6th house represents like small non-profit organizations. 11th house, which is the Bhavat Bhavam of the 6th house, represents like NGO, UN, Red Cross, all these big organizations that want to go out there and spread their love. So now you have these axes sitting. Rahu is a very unorthodox energy. Both Rahu and Ketu represent surprises, sudden things. They're the outcast. They represent things which are in the wild. They represent things which are against the social norms of society. Like, for example, you're walking on the street. Yesterday, actually, me and my wife and my kids, we went to DC. And not DC, I mean National Harbor. It's near DC, and it's for kids. And we were just out there walking and, just having some seafood. And we're walking, and then suddenly this one girl comes. She was like pretty much, I would say 5'11", 6, but had like orange pink hair, like up here. She had this fat rings hair and hair. She had the leather jacket. She was like kind of like goth and tattoos and just somebody awkward. When we saw that, I didn't see the person. Now how my brain thinks, I'm seeing Rahu walk past by me. That's what Rahu is. Somebody who just wants to break the rules, not care about how they're supposed to be in line with the fashion of today. They're like, no, I'm going to set my own fashion. I'm going to set my own rules. I'm going to set my own image. So that's what Rahu becomes. Now Ketu, if Rahu is the exploding energy, like, look at me, I'm different. Ketu is the imploding energy that, no, please don't look at me. I'm going to be blended in the crowd. I'm going to look like a normal person wearing just plain clothes. Okay, my hair is just going to be normal like everybody else. However, inside me, I know the secrets of this universe. Inside me, I know what is out there and what is down below, beneath the earth, other civilizations beneath the earth living, watching us. And they're just out there, just drinking their beer and eating their normal food. And people just think, who is this person? Whatever. Because people will be paying more attention to Rahu. If that girl comes and sits in the bar, people are just going to be eye. Whether they like that or not, their eye is going to be there. This is why Rahu represents fame. Why? Because Rahu does things that it gets attention of other people. And then if you put, Ketu next to it, who could be a brilliant astrologer. Let's say Kapiel Raaj was in the cafe drinking some tea in the same restaurant. And he's just the oldest person and just traditional person just sitting and nobody's paying attention. He's talking, but people don't realize more than Rahu is the Ketu that people should be going after. They don't know who this person is, the greatest astrologer in the world. That's what Ketu is. So when it's in the 5th house and Rahu represents this exploding energy, okay? It represents this energy that really just expands like a blown up bomb. It's not a balloon like Jupiter. It blows slowly and surely. Rahu just explodes it. So whenever Rahu is in the 5th house and Ketu is in the 6th house, your entire life goes into the axis of creative self-expression and dealing with the gains that you are trying to get, the connections you're trying to make in life. This is the axis you always deal with. Somehow, some way, anything you do will come to this axis. And especially for these people, they love to learn things which are different. 5th house is education. They want to learn things which are related to astronomy, related to new age science, artificial intelligence, like software coding. It may look normal, okay? But if you went just in my own neighborhood and you say, hey, would you like to be a coder? They'll be like, nope, it's too hard, it's too difficult, it's too complicated. I don't know what the hell am I doing and looking at. Only certain Rahu-minded people are able to understand this unorthodox language. Software is a language. It's a language you write, and it does something. So it's such a mystical language that when you write that language, it performs something, it becomes alive, which is Rahu, this unusual form of communication. So in the 5th house, these people like to learn these things. When it comes to their competition, like 5th house is romance and sports as well, they get into romantic encounters with people of different cultures, ethnic backgrounds, very unusual situations in romance. They're the ones who have children either of different cultures, different ethnic backgrounds, or they may adopt children. Their children may be born in foreign places, foreign lands. They may have a C-section as children, especially for women. Can show you may have a C-section, unusual way of giving birth to children. And especially when they express themselves creatively. Because remember, 5th house is children, and children are happening through a creative process of sexual intercourse, which is creativity. Then there's creativity of arts, painting, cinema. Everything of this is unusual. When they express themselves creatively, they'll be in the most unorthodox way. Like, you'll be like, wow, this guy is a brilliant artist, but okay, who is it? Why are they doing this way? Why are they doing this type of a weird art? They raise their children in the most unusual way. So kind of like these people may even be more inclined towards doing homeschooling. Instead of sending your children to the traditional normal school, you might either do homeschooling or send them to like a old school Vedic school. See, Rahu doesn't have to be a bad person here. Rahu can show you're breaking tradition. And especially because 5th house is ancient knowledge, Rahu grasps it, wants to know. right? So you as a parent might be like, you know what? I want my children to go to a Gurukul and learn the old Vedic ways in front of a guru, learning about Vedic mathematics. Because this will obviously raise your children's IQ level compared to the rest of the world, like up to here. Like it'll go beyond. And especially what happens is, especially in Rahu Dasha, I have seen when I do consultation of people and Rahu Dasha is operating, and Rahu's in the 5th house, somehow they're always just completely immersed in stock market. They want to like risk their money. They're like, I want to do Forex trading. I guess Forex trading is like Indian way of trading, I guess. Because every single time I get these people, they always want to do Forex trading. They say, can I make it in there? You can, you cannot. You obviously have to see. See here, dispositorship of Rahu Ketu becomes very important. How Rahu Ketu will react. You got to see the dispositor, number one. You also have to see position of Saturn. Saturn determines how your Rahu will operate. You have to see the moon because Rahu Ketu are nodes of the moon. If moon and Saturn are placed very well, Rahu Ketu will give excellent results. If dispositor of Rahu Ketu are placed very well, they will give excellent results. So if you have dispositor of Rahu Ketu being Saturn and moon, and if they're in a good placement, that's all you need to know. But here then Ketu represents that introverted energy. Okay, so what happens is this person is so immersed in the 5th house, they forget about their gains. They either find no interest in having friends, professional network circles, and gaining all kinds of hopes and wishes, desires, or when they get it, they're not satisfied with it. Like many people with what happens with Ketu, Ketu will give you what you want. Ketu is not there obstructing it. Ketu, either when he obstructs it, okay, it splits it in two. So if you were to get a property, you'll get a property, but it'll be split in two. You might have to get like a duplex. But what happens is Ketu can give you a mansion and you won't be happy. You'll be in this big mansion with 10 rooms and you'll be like, God, I need a small house. I'm not happy here. So what happens with Ketu in the 11th house, it gives the person gains. You want your dream cars and your Rolexes, you'll get it, but you will not be happy. You'll be like, oh my God, I'm more depressed now. So what happens here, Ketu teaches the lessons of the past. Ketu represents the tail of your life, your karmic life. So here's the head, okay? It's vibrating. Ketu is the journey that you began. And now you're here in this front of the journey. So because this angle is on the 11th house, shows you have already fulfilled your desires. In this life, when you are projecting this new reality, being born, you still have to worry about gains. You still have to worry about money. So you are going to have that regardless of where Ketu is placed. But what Ketu shows, when you really want it and you get it, you will not be satisfied with it. Where versus when you get something with Rahu, you're like just enjoying it to the point where you just can't take it. You need more. So as a Rahu 5th house stockbroker, they may make a lot of money. But will they find satisfaction in it? Will they find happiness in it? Will be determined by Ketu. And most of the time, Ketu will give them the best apartment in New York for $15-20 million. Even now at 20 million, oh my God, I was looking on Zillow just for fun. A 2-3 bedroom apartment to buy in New York. Literally, these things are $40 million now. Imagine the property tax you'll pay. Insane. But that's another story for me. But again, Ketu's axis will show that I will give you everything you need, but are you going to be happy with it? So make sure you go, if you are going towards me, make sure you can handle the result. This is why Ketu says, don't come towards me, go towards Rahu. We always fall back on Ketu. We always fall back on Ketu. Ketu is our comfort zone, but Ketu's there says, no, I'm not going to let you be comfortable. So 11th house represents our support system. People we know professionally, people when we lose a job, we can call one of our friends, the professional acquaintance we knew. Hey, do you have a job opening at Morgan Stanley or Chase? You think I can get an interview? I know you guys are doing this. So you always rely on that part of your professional network circles. how much satisfaction you'll gain from them. That becomes the big question here. Because you are supposed to master 5th house. See, 5th house Rahu does not see you have mastery over these things. 5th house Rahu says you are learning. You're going to make mistakes in the 5th house. You're going to have romantic encounters that you're going to regret. You're going to be trying to raise children in a way where you will regret it later on. Because it's a learning process. Maybe sending your child to Gurukul, it'll make them more depressed because they're away from you. And you're thinking you're doing the right thing. So all of this axis is such a mysterious axis. They both teach you lessons. One is not good over the other because you're going to make mistakes here. And you're not going to be satisfied here. But always look at the dispositor. The dispositorship of Rahu Ketu shows how Rahu and Ketu will manifest their energy. So especially, how we talk about Rahu Ketu, sudden rise in life. Well, if dispositor of one of them is sitting in the 8th house and Rahu Mahadacha happens, you're going to see some sudden things coming up in your life. You have never traveled outside your city. Suddenly Rahu Mahadacha, forget going to the next city. You're going to complete different foreign lands, foreign country. If, let's say, your dispositor of Rahu sits in the 4th house, shows that your energy of the 5th house will be more comforted and supported within the home, being in the home, or supported through your mother. Your happiness will always come through doing things of the 5th house within the home. This is how you understand the dispositorship of Rahu Ketu. But your entire life goes into either learning, expressing yourself creatively, and trying to deal with the gains and the rewards you get through that. And this is your entire life axis. Okay? So guys, this is my analysis of Rahu Ketu axis. Rahu Ketu 5th and 11th node axis. If you're new to my channel, subscribe below. And if you want to know where your Rahu is placed and Ketu is placed, all my big books, reports, consultation, and Rahu Ketu consultation, check out the links here. Otherwise, we'll see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.